Welcome back. In an earlier video we walked through the FIDIC Red Book 1909 clause by clause. While a standard form is only half the story, every real project amends it through the conditions of particular application, and those amendments override the standard clause. So in this video we place them side by side, clause 1 to 20, the standard FIDIC position on the left and the actual part 2 conditions for the Eden Hills villas on the right. Watch how many of the familiar deadlines change. Clause 1 General Provisions. Under standard FIDIC the base date is 28 days before the tender, and cost includes overheads but excludes profit. In the Part 2 conditions, the definition of cost is narrowed further. It excludes profit, non-project overheads, and consequential loss. The costs of delayed drawings are recovered under subclause 20.1, and no variation of the contract is valid unless it is in writing. So when you price a claim on this project, remember that cost is defined more tightly than the standard form. Clause 2 The employer. The standard form gives access and possession by the stated dates, and subclause 2.4 lets the contractor request the employer's financial arrangements. But here 2.4 is deleted entirely, so you cannot demand proof that the employer can pay. Access is also made non-exclusive. The contractor must let the employer and other contractors onto the site, and the contractor, not the employer, is responsible for obtaining the building permits. Clause 3 The engineer. In the standard form, the engineer administers the contract and determines matters fairly. In the Part 2 conditions, the engineer's authority is curtailed. The employer's prior approval is now required before the engineer can award an extension of time, instruct a variation, nominate a subcontractor, or issue the taking over or performance certificates. All instructions must be confirmed in writing within 2 days, and the engineer is not bound to make any determination until the contractor has first complied with subclause 20.1. Clause 4 The contractor, and here is our first change deadline. Under standard FIDIC, the performance security is due within 28 days of the letter of acceptance. In this contract that is shortened to 21 days, the progress breakdown is also due within 21 days, with a daily site diary required, and both the collateral warranty and the parent company guarantee must be provided within 28 days of notice. So your very first hard deadline moves earlier, 21 days, not 28. Clauses 5 and 6 Subcontractors, staff and labour. The standard form lets the contractor object to a nominated subcontractor as soon as practicable, and records are kept each calendar month. In the Part 2 conditions, the objection must be made within 14 days of becoming aware of the nomination, and personnel and equipment records must now be kept daily, not monthly. Additional provisions are also added covering working hours, alcohol, arms, epidemics, and bribery. Those daily records are a contractual requirement here, not just good practice. Clause 7 Plant materials and workmanship. The standard form requires samples before incorporation and testing throughout. This contract is more specific. Samples must be submitted at least 60 days before the materials are used, and the engineer then responds within 30 days. So build that 60-day sample lead time into your program, or material approvals will end up on the critical path. Clause 8 Commencement, delay and suspension, and this is where the biggest changes appear. Under standard FIDIC, the program is due within 28 days, and prolonged suspension is defined at 84 days. In the Part 2 conditions, commencement is within 42 days of the letter of acceptance or the building permit, and the program is due within just 14 days. As a resource and cost-loaded Primavera P6 file with no activity longer than 28 days, the program must then be updated every 14 days, and prolonged suspension is extended from 84 days to 120 days. So the program is due in half the standard time and in a far more demanding format. Clauses 9 and 10 Tests on completion and taking over. The standard notice periods still apply 21 days for the tests and 14 days ahead of taking over. But this contract has 2 important conditions. Taking over cannot happen until the contractor has delivered the as-built records under subclause 4.26 and the operation and maintenance manuals under 4.27. no built records and manuals, no taking over certificate. Clauses 11 and 12 defects and measurement. In the standard form, the contractor's search cost includes reasonable profit and measurement is progressive. In this contract, the profit is removed and crucially, the contract is a fixed price lump sum. Measurement here is only supporting information for payment certificates and variations. It does not remeasure or change the price. That lump sum nature affects how you approach every valuation. Clause 13, variations and adjustments. The standard value engineering share is 50% and a variation proposal is submitted as soon as practicable. In the Part 2 conditions, the value engineering share drops sharply from 50% to just 5% and the variation proposal must be submitted within 14 days. And importantly, there is no adjustment of the contract price for changes in legislation or changes in cost. Fixed price means the contractor carries the escalation risks. Clause 14, contract price and payment, another major change. Under standard FIDIC, the employer pays within 56 days. In this contract, payment is due within just 21 days of the engineer's certification. That is much faster. But note the trade-off. The schedule of payments and the delayed payment subclause are both deleted or not used and retention is released on taking over against a retention guarantee. Faster payment, but the standard delayed payment remedy is gone. Clauses 15 and 16, termination. The standard form lets the contractor suspend for non-payment after 21 days. This contract stretches that to 56 days. So your right to suspend is much slower to trigger. Termination by the contractor requires 35 days notice, with payment overdue by a further 42 days. On the employer's side, extra termination grounds are added, including a change of control and reaching the maximum delay damages. Clauses 17 and 18, risk and insurance. In this contract, the employer may occupy part of the works before taking over, while the contractor still carries the risk. On insurance, the contractor is wholly responsible for all policies placed with the UAE licensed insurer, with the employer named as co-insured, and 30 days notice before any cancellation. And professional indemnity insurance must be maintained for 10 years from the date of taking over. Clause 19, force majeure. The standard definition and notice apply, but this contract makes one very significant change. Force majeure expressly excludes COVID-19. So an event on the COVID-19 facts would not qualify as force majeure under this contract and would not, on that basis, support an extension of time. The engineer determines whether any event meets the definition. Clause 20, claims, disputes, and arbitration, and this is the most structural change of all. The standard form routes disputes through a dispute adjudication board, giving its decision in 84 days. In this contract, the DOB is deleted entirely. The claim particulars are made more demanding, requiring cause and effects, a fragment, and the critical path analysis. Concurrent delay gives time, but no additional costs, and disputes now escalate internally first, then go to arbitration. Let's look at that new dispute route in detail. Instead of the dispute adjudication board, the parties first refer the matter to their representatives. If it is not resolved within 10 business days, it goes up to the chairman of each party who have 30 days to reach a resolution. If it is still unresolved, the dispute goes to arbitration under the Dubai International Arbitration Centre before 3 arbitrators seated in Dubai in English. The whole 84, 28, 56-day DOB machinery is gone, replaced by internal escalation and then direct arbitration. So let's bring the changes together. The performance security moves from 28 days to 21, the program from 28 days to 14. Prolonged suspension from 84 days to 120. Payment from 56 days to 21. The contractor's suspension notice the other way from 21 days to 56. Value engineering from 50% to 5. And disputes go to direct arbitration with no DOB. The lesson is simple. Always read the particular conditions because they override the standard clause every single time. If this helped, subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.